I added this in post-production because I realized that the haters will say this is fake. But as you can see here, there's 14 consecutive days of running 16K. So mull this over, pause the video if you want to have a look in more detail, but otherwise enjoy the episode. All right, episode 1, lab 1 done. So I'm going to, well, first I think I owe a bit of a explanation what this is all about. So basically I've been tracking 31 different biometrics over the last couple weeks using this. This is a Eufy Smart Scale and it collects 14 different metrics. And this here is the Muse meditation device, which reads brain activity and basically tells you how calm or how active your mind is. So I've been using this as well. And then I also have the Apple Watch, which collects some heart data. And then the Sleep Score app basically uses sonar to tell you how deep you're sleeping, your REM cycles, how much you're awake through the night, if you're talking in your sleep, all that good stuff. So between those four devices, I've been collecting, it's 31 different metrics that I've been reading. And this first lab, I wanted to start off with a bang. So I decided to do 10 miles a day, which is 16 kilometers. And super interesting experience, went really well. But I'm going to start off by just running through some of the data. So for me, the most interesting thing has been my resting heart rate, which actually spiked during the challenge. It was up at about 59, I think, at one point, beats per minute. And as soon as I stopped running, it dropped right down to the point where I think I'm at 49 beats per minute today, which is a pretty solid resting heart rate. So that was pretty cool to see. My heart rate variability was all over the place. At one point, it looked like it was trending upwards nicely, and then the weekend happened, and I drank a bit, and I think that just made it tank for a couple of days, and then it was back up. And then in this week since finishing, it's been all over the place. So I honestly don't know what to think about that. I would have liked to have seen a nice upward trend with my heart rate variability, but that didn't happen. On average, it was up, it looks like 2 beats per minute, 2 milliseconds for my heart rate variability between this first lab and the base period, which I did. I was fully expecting to lose weight in this, but I ended up putting on about 2 pounds, which one was fat. So somehow I put on fat, which I don't think I was overeating. I was burning about 3,000 calories a day, and I don't think I was eating that much every single day. So very weird. It was a very high carb diet that I was on, so potentially that could be the reason. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe just from overtraining, my body just got confused and didn't know how to burn fat anymore. So I am up weight a little bit. And then my muscle mass increased by about a pound, my body fat also by about a pound. So that makes up the 2 pounds right there. And then in terms of sleep, so this Sleep Score app, it tracks how much time you spend awake through the night, which you normally don't remember. On average was awake for 59 minutes, whereas my base period was 49. So what's the math there? 16. So that's 16 minutes extra spent awake. My calmness and my focus, which the Muse device shows me, was quite significantly affected, which also surprised me. So that was down, that gives you a percentage, and that was down 5.39%. My theory for that is when I run, I tend to just drift off and my mind wanders. If I'm listening to a podcast, shout out Spin Chicklets, Joe Rogan, I'm never actually focused on the podcast itself. So I think my mind just gets used to going somewhere, and that carries over to this meditation that I do. I had a few subjective points which I was tracking as well. Obviously my aerobic energy, which is my energy during runs, was down significantly. There was a period in the middle of this 14-day period where I was like, my energy was just pathetic, like heavy legs. There's a few days where I was struggling to lift my legs, and so that makes sense that that'd be down by about 2 points. I just want to address the running nerds out there, because I know there were a lot of people that I talked to that had some opinions about this. I know it's stupid. It wasn't a smart thing to do in terms of like a training program or physical fitness or anything like that. I just wanted to do it as like a challenge. I wanted to start this whole layman study thing off with a bang. So I figured no better way to do that than like seriously put my body through the ringer. And I wouldn't recommend anybody try this unless you are looking to really push yourself and push yourself mentally and push yourself physically, then give it a go. But if you're training for a race, you need rest. It's just not smart. You're going to get injured. I was lucky enough that I taped my knee up quite a bit because I've had some pre-existing knee issues. So with the tape, I didn't have too many issues. Also, with running on snow, which I pretty much did every day. So we have -16 with the wind chill. I had snow in my eyes the whole run, but got this beautiful scenery here at the lake, so it's not all too bad. There's much less impact on your joints, so I think that also played quite a role. I had one day with a bit of shin splints, but these puppies did their job. I love these shoes. I just bought them right before starting, and great shoes. New Balance Fresh Foam Tempo is what they're called. Very good. And then when I wasn't in those, I was in the Gel Nimbus 21s, which are now going into retirement. They've seen about 1,000 Ks. So great shoe. My preference would actually be with the New Balance. I think it's a better shoe, but these have done their job. Just in terms of a base for myself going into this, I looked at my Strava and I had done, I think it was 500K this year. So I didn't have a massive base and definitely didn't do any back-to-backs this year at all. So to go from not doing any back-to-backs to doing 14 it was a big jump, but I think my body tolerated it quite well. I was very strict with my post-run regimens, with stretching, with cold tubs, a bit of Theragun as well. I stretched for about an hour a day. That's half hour after the run and half hour before bed. And I think that made the world of a difference. So I'm going to keep that up. I actually did 21K this morning, fully expecting to just fly through it. I thought my fitness would be super high. I thought my body would just be itching for a run, but not the case at all. I died. Like right off the bat, I could feel legs were heavy, breathing was heavy, and wind was like 50-kilometer-an-hour gusts. So that was definitely played a big factor as well. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed. I ended up doing like, I think it was 5 minutes 23 a K over 21, which is pretty good for me considering I haven't been training too much. In terms of next steps, lab number 2 kicks off on Monday, which is the 2nd of November. I'm thinking of doing just an intense bulking routine for 2 weeks to see what that looks like. I'm going to take every supplement there is. I'm going to train for like 2-3 hours a day. and just see what happens. So obviously I'll be checking my biometrics through all that as well. So I think that'll be a nice change of pace for me. I'm very happy to be off my legs for a little while now. If there's a choppy edit in there, it's because my camera died. But I am planning on taking it easy this weekend. I've got the Namaste burning. Feeling good. Got the Pinot. So I'm just gonna stay off my feet this weekend, just relax a bit, and then
get after it.
Starting Monday in the gym, lab number 2. So check back in a week's time. I'm gonna do a little update video, and then give us a follow on Layman Study and Layman Study Lab on Instagram. And then the usual like and subscribe here on YouTube. Thanks for watching.